Oh my, clean is cool, but cleaner is cooler. With the summer sun, I think it's time we start planning for packing.
I'm Laura,
And I'm Jake.
and we're going to discuss getting your cooler ready for the summer, right? First thing we always want to do with everything is get it clean. So, what does your cooler look like? If it's anything like most of mine, not so lovely, right? So, let's start with the very beginning. Before I put anything in here, I like to use the wipes for it, just to get that racking, and that way it picks up the debris that might be in there too,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Definitely.
And that's not the only method for sanitation we can do, right? We could,
Right.
just like our cutting boards or in our work surfaces, we can use dish soap and hot water. We can use the sanitizer wipes or sprays. We can use bleach in just a tablespoon in a quart of water. Any other things you can think of? I think I covered them.
No, I think you're pretty good. That's
Yep.
pretty good.
Whatever
That's a good
we
way
can
to
get
do
it clean, you're good.
Definitely. Definitely. These go through quite a lot of dirty, nasty, horrible places.
They
So,
do a hard
yeah,
job.
They do. And then now I'm cleaned and sanitized too.
And we need to pack these when we're done with them, because once we get to the campsite, we're going to want to put down our vinyl tablecloth that we can wipe off and clean so that our work surfaces are clean and sanitary, just like our cooler is.
Yep.
Yep.
And then your hands are clean and sanitized too.
I'll
Yes.
throw the hand sanitizer in there too, just so everybody can clean them up before we eat.
Excellent way. And I do think the rules are, even if you're packing a cooler to go camping or just to go for a day trip, or if you're packing the car, I use this little one. So it's always in the car. I like this because it's flat.
Yeah, I
So
leave mine
that
in my trunk.
even when I'm grocery shopping, I can keep things cool for our hot summer days.
Absolutely. With that 4-hour window, I mean, that's a short period of time
Yeah.
if you're out running errands.
Yeah,
And
it
you
really
can
is.
go past that really quick and lose your product.
I've done a lot of camping over the years, and I've learned a few tricks when you're doing this, and most of it is being prepared. Freezing things ahead of time. So what we're going to start with is our frozen items, right? It's an easy way to deal with it. So in the freezer, we've got the lovely things. So do you know you can freeze sticks?
Cheese sticks?
Lovely for
Makes perfect
your
sense.
kids, right?
I'd freeze
But-
these for the lunch too.
And this, if I was only 2 people, I might separate them so I don't have to touch them all.
Makes sense.
Right?
But by the
Keeping it-
time we get there, they'll be ready to go on the grill.
Keeping it frozen is good. Hot dogs, same thing. I mean,
They're
easy
like
to
ice
throw 'em in
packets shaped like dinner.
there. Now, one of my tricks has always been my ice packet being the types of liquids that I'm taking. So freezing your milk, freezing your coffee, freezing your iced tea, whatever it is.
Perfect sense.
Instead of putting an ice pack in there that's going to take up space,
Yeah.
I like to have these frozen, and then I'll use those as my ice packs
iced
as I put
coffee.
it in there, right? It just makes sense. If you're cooking, if you're going to put butter in there, oh, gee, how about we throw it in already frozen, right?
That makes perfect
I
sense.
might put it in a Ziploc bag so it doesn't end up with stuff on it. And then, of course, I'm going to need ice packs, of course.
Yeah, gotta bring your freezer
But-
packs.
The less of those I need, the better, right?
Yeah.
So,
Well, if you top it off with extra ice, we just want to be certain that we drain
Right.
it. Then we leave that plug open so that all of our food isn't sitting in water. But this way, you really
Yeah.
don't have a lot of that as a risk.
but I do like to make things like chili and taco meat is my favorite thing to prep ahead of time. Bag it up, ready to go, right? And then you can make walking tacos or you can use it to make chili or whatever. But it's already frozen, so I can put it in here and it's really going to help keep everything nice and frozen during transportation.
When I love good home cooking at the campground without the grit of the sand, I tell
Without cleaning up, right? Getting cast iron cleaned
Yup.
up. And then I would go ahead and put in my veggies and whatever. Now, if
Anything you don't want to freeze.
right,
Yeah.
if I was going to do chicken, that makes it a little bit tricky. Do I cook it ahead of time and then just tear it apart when you get there? Or if I'm going to marinate it, I'm going to properly seal it very, very well so that it doesn't have an issue here. Or an even better idea for things like that is to put them in a separate cooler.
Absolutely. You can even bring a small cooler just for your meat.
Right.
Yeah. And if
To
it's all
keep 'em
frozen,
totally
you don't have to
separate.
worry about them.
Right. And then here I can now put my veggies, my fruits, all of that kind of thing right on top of it, which does make the whole idea much easier. But
Absolutely.
planning ahead is, of course, the big conversation with this type of thing.
Now, Laura, if we end up with our cooler thawing and everything coming out of frozen and it's still 41, it's safe, right? But if it goes above 41, we only have 4 hours yet again before we must discard everything, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be quite a challenge when it's 90 degrees with 90% humidity in the state of Michigan.
Don't leave it in your black car.
That really is a big deal. Another trick that you can use if you don't have one of those nice high-end coolers that you can plug into your car is wrap your cooler in a blanket. Just gives it that extra insulation.
Absolutely.
Or those
Those, like, insulated ones.
insulated blankets
Absolutely.
are kind of cool to have too. So,
Well, and
you
the
know.
sense of what you're doing, it's really there because thermal mass. I mean, if you can keep everything that's cold together, it's just
Yeah.
going to stay colder longer, right?
Yeah.
I mean, let it
So-
all hold together and stay cold.
So stay safe out there. Ooh, easy for me to say.
Yeah.
Right? Keep your raw food separate from your ready to eat while you're camping or while you're on location, wherever you might be. And always remember that 4-hour rule because that will really help you. Once you set out a picnic, you really do. The clock did start ticking, so you want to be really careful with that.
You're so right.
Yep.
Well, you know what we say. Oh my, cool is clean, but cleaner is cooler.
I'm Laura.
And I'm Jake. Have fun out there.